Hello everyone and welcome back. My name is Greg Furman, market analyst here at TraderPlanet.com, and these are the market positions for February the 9th, 2010. Now to get started today, our first market we're going to be looking at is the stock market, the individual stocks. We're going to be looking at the NOVL stock, Novell. We can see here that we've had a crossover from vantage point that's taken place from the upside to the upside, excuse me, at the $4.10 mark. That took place back in excuse me, early November. We can see that this has been an excellent call, really, from vantage point. Looking at this long period that we've run flat, we've now crossed over, extended higher all the way from the $4 range up into the $4.80, $4.90 range. We've then retraced back. However, vantage point at this point in time failed to put out, or actually I shouldn't say failed to, refused to put out a sell signal on this stock, and then we've progressed higher. So this retracement that we've seen here has given us a good opportunity to get into buy positions. So now what we can identify here is the three major levels of support: 465, 471, and 473. We've closed at 474. So with the triple EMA crossover still holding strong, we have the 3-day, the 8-day, and the 18-day predicted moving average, none of which are crossing over each other, suggesting that this stock is going to move higher. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be watching the 18-day predicted moving average very closely. However, we are going to go in and have a quick look at the daily report just to make sure that it coincides. Now, again, the daily report is just that, a daily report. It's not something that we're going to normally trade specifically off. We're going to identify our major levels of support and resistance using the predicted moving averages from vantage point. Now, looking at this here, we can see we've had 2 down days on the neural index. We've now turned positive. We have 463 as the low, 484 as the high. So 463 is going to be our entry point for tomorrow. I think we're going to extend higher than 484, but that's a good start for day traders. That's still, if we're getting 20, 30, 40%, 20 or 30, 40-cent move on a $4 stock, based on percentages, that's very strong. So again, the predicted low and the 18-day predicted moving average from vantage point, both are consistent. We have the triple EMA holding above. We have no crossover on the triple EMA, excuse me, the 3-day, the 8-day, and the 18-day predicted moving average, all looking good there. So we're going to stay with the buy position. This is one of the few stocks that's moving higher right now. As everybody's aware of, the major indices are all getting hit very hard, as are a number of different individual stocks, but this stock has held up very well. Good value also in stocks like this in this $4 or $5 range. Very, very good value. So again, we're going to be looking at the Novell stock. We're going to be looking at $4.65 as our entry point, and then we would like to see an extension back towards that $5 range, but our first move on an intraday basis will be 484. So that's our first position for tonight. Now for our second position, we're going to go into the foreign exchange market. Okay, now our second position for tomorrow is going to be the US-Japan currency pair in the foreign exchange market. We can identify three major levels of resistance right now: 90.29, 89.88, and 89.45. With our triple EMA crossover taking place, we can see that this actually has taken place about the middle of January. It's crossed over to the downside, it's come back, it's retraced up. We can see that it tried to penetrate through the 18-day predicted moving average from vantage point, which it did slightly. However, was unable to maintain above that area. So what we're going to be looking for tomorrow is a retracement back. We're going to be using the predicted highs and predicted lows for tomorrow, but I suspect the 89.45 area is going to hold. But we are going to go in, we're going to be using the predicted high of the day for tomorrow as our entry point, and then we're going to be looking at the predicted low for tomorrow as our exit point. Okay, so we can see for tomorrow we have 89.55 as our high, neural index still pointing down, which is good. That supports our short trade. 88.86 is our predicted low for the day, so that will be our target for tomorrow or tonight, depending on when you're looking at this. As everybody knows, US-Japan starts trading between 8 and 9 Eastern Standard Time. That's when the market technically in Forex will start moving heavily. So again, we're going to be looking at the predicted high, 89.55, and again, 88.86 will be our predicted low. Now, going back and look at the U.S. Japan, highly correlated to the global stock markets, but again, we've had this move higher. This 93 area has been very, very strong resistance. We've now crossed over to the downside. We've had this retracement that took place last week. We can see this on the Vantage Point charts here. Vantage Point was not willing to put out a buy signal on the U.S. Japan currency pair on anything other than an intraday basis. The major trend as identified by the software is very clearly to the downside. So very important that we keep this in mind, that whenever we're trading currencies, stocks, futures, whatever that is, that we stay with the primary trend, and we use for, we look for retracements and corrective moves to simply get better prices on our entry. Now, again, what I'm going to do here quickly, looking at the U.S.-Japan currency pair, I'm going to go in and just do a quick review of the Japan currency futures so everybody can see this. Now, we can see that the the yen itself is fully supported in the 1.10 range. We have a crossover that's taken place from Vantage Point to the upside. So another good advantage of using multiple markets with the multiple modules with the Vantage Point software is that we can actually break this down by the individual currency to help us even further see what the overall trend here. So not only is the US-Japan supported, the short on the US-Japan supported in the Forex market, but the yen currency futures also suggest that the yen is going to strengthen. So those are the market positions for February the 9th, 2010. And again, my name is Greg Furman, market analyst here at TraderPlanet.com.